Hypothesis testing can be divided into these 7 steps. Number one is we formulate the hypothesis. Research hypothesis or motivating hypothesis is called the alternative hypothesis here. It is denoted by HA, and null hypothesis is the negation of it, and it is denoted by H0. We can have these 3 cases. HA is greater, mu is greater than some mean under the null or mu naught. H0 would be then mu is less than or equal to mu naught. Since we are looking for some value bigger than some mean under the null, it's a right tail test. So in the curve, we will be looking to the right side of the curve. Second scenario may be we are looking for some mean that is less than mu naught, mean under the null. Null hypothesis is mu is greater than or equal to mu naught. So on the curve, we are looking for the left side. So this is a left tail test. We may be looking for some scenario in which we are looking for some mean that is not equal to mu naught. H0 would be mu is equal to mu naught. In that case, on the curve, we will be looking for both sides. Our value may be greater than, the mu might be greater than mu naught, or it might be smaller than mu naught. So respective tail will be searched for it. We will be looking for both tails under this curve. So that's why it's a two-tail test. Number 2, we set alpha and decide the sample size. We already covered this sample size formula. Alpha in most of the cases is set at 0.05. Alpha or significance level is set with an appropriate sample size before conducting the study. We said alpha of 0.05 is generally used. Number 3, we determine the appropriate statistical test. If known, population standard deviation is already given, and n is greater than 30, we can apply a z-test here. If sigma is unknown and sample size is small, use S, sample standard deviation, to estimate sigma, the population standard deviation, and then we will use P instead of Z. Number 4, we determine the rejection region. Rejection region contains the values that support the motivating hypothesis and contradict the null hypothesis. For a one tail to the right, rejection region is right side of the curve. One tail to the test, it is on left hand side of the curve. And in a two-tail test, alpha is divided into 2 equal halves, and we go for both the tails. And we search for both the tails. Our value obviously resides in any of them. Number 5, we gather the data and calculate the statistics or test statistics. Whatever the test we are doing, suppose here we are doing Z. So we will calculate this Z, we call it Z calculated, and given by this formula. And that is, this thing is this Z, or later on we will be doing T, is called as test statistic. Number 6, we reject the null hypothesis, or do not reject, or we say fail to reject the null hypothesis, depending upon what our calculations are. So we reject H0 if for a one-tail test or Z calculated is greater than the Z under that particular alpha level. We call it as Z critical. Or it may be for a left tail test, or Z calculated should be smaller than Z at that particular alpha. And for a two-tail test, the absolute value of Z calculated should be greater than Z at that particular alpha by 2. And then we would fail to reject, or we will reject the null hypothesis depending upon our results. Number 7, we do our conclusions with some statement like this. With an alpha probability of type 1 error, we reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis, so that there is or there is not enough evidence to support the population mean of whatever that mean is given, that number comes here. It is or it is not different or greater or smaller than the specified population mean mu naught, whatever the mu naught was, we put it here. So some generic statement like this concludes our whole hypothesis testing process. Various methods which we use for this hypothesis testing, we can go with the Z or other test statistics. If we are doing T, obviously we will use T's. In that case, Z calculated should be greater than or equal to Z critical, or Z at that particular alpha level, or at that particular alpha by 2 in case of a two-tailed test. We can be using the actual values of those Y bars at that particular Z critical. So Y critical, we call it the critical number. So that we get it through this formula. So mu plus Z critical divided by sigma Y bar, that is the standard error. We can get it with Excel functions as well. We can go with the p-values. P is the probability of finding that Z calculated under the curve. For left tail test, we will go for the value less than this Z calculated, and it should be then compared with alpha. It should be smaller than alpha in any case. For a right tail test, probability of seeing a value greater than Z calculated for a right tail test, and P of either greater than Z calculated or less than Z calculated for the respective tail in a two-tail test. And for one-tail test, this p-value should be less than alpha, and for a two-tail test, it should be less than alpha by 2 for a two-tail test in the respective tail. Let's summarize this. Thing can have these cases. Left tail test, where we are looking for some mean less than some mu naught, which is the mean under the null, or in a two-tail test, we are looking for an inequality that mu is not equal to mu naught, so it can be either smaller or greater, right? So that's why we call it as a two-tail test. Test statistics, we calculate those numbers, Z or T or whatever, and we reject the null hypothesis if Z is greater than Z at that particular alpha. For case 1, right tail test, Z should be less than or equal to minus Z at that particular alpha, the Z value towards left side. And since we are looking for some numbers smaller than this, so our Z calculated should be then less than that. And if it is a two-tail test, the case 3, we reject H0 if Z, the absolute value of Z is greater than or equal to Z alpha by 2.